Throughout its history, the United States Navy has been tasked with maintaining freedom of the seas. Though this mission has remained virtually unchanged, the level of technology incorporated into the tools of the trade has taken quantum leaps forward. Naval warfare has evolved into a highly scientific arena of supersonic aircraft, fast, deep-diving submarines, awesome surface vessels, and sophisticated high-performance weapons, all skillfully operated by trained and dedicated professionals. The Carrier Battle Group, with its powerful and versatile air wing, is capable of conducting both offensive and defensive missions at a moment's notice. In order to maintain the highest standard of proficiency in the deployment of this array of complex weapon systems, practice is frequently the order of the day.
Morning, gentlemen. Let's get started. First, Scout 704 has a real-world contact, but before we go into that, let's go over today's game plan. Could we have the lights, please? Among the Orange forces, we have a Spruance-class destroyer simulating a Soviet Cresta II that you are seeing here. Then we have a Leahy-class cruiser simulating a Moskva-class helicopter cruiser. Both units were reported underway and closing the battle group late last evening. In addition, a Sturgeon-class nuke operating in the exercise area is simulating a Soviet Charlie-class submarine.
Today, the U.S. Navy is no longer the largest maritime force in the world. Due to its program of continuous expansion, the Soviet Navy has moved into the #1 position. New amphibious assault transport craft and guided missile cruisers reflect major advances in Soviet technology. Intensifying the Soviet threat is its rapidly growing subsurface fleet, armed with an ever-expanding inventory of cruise and ballistic missiles. Many of the cruise missiles are capable of submerged launch several hundred miles from their intended target. The striking force of these new generation weapons has been demonstrated in actual armed conflict. The recent innovations in Soviet technology have expanded the threat beyond ocean commerce. Today, they represent a formidable challenge to even the Carrier Battle Group, both on the surface and from beneath.
As yet, we have had no contact with Orange surface or subsurface forces. However, we are continuing to prosecute the unknown subcontact. Remember that specific rules of engagement do apply to exercise and real-world contacts. Please consult your briefing card.
The Battle Group Commander possesses a strike force capability second to none. Supporting this strike force are sophisticated surveillance and electronic countermeasure aircraft. And finally, one of the most advanced anti-submarine systems in the world. To counter the submarine threat, the S-3 Viking is called upon to sanitize the waters through which the battle group must pass.
Roger, 704. This is 703. We're about 40 miles out, ready for swap.
The S-3's communication systems permit constant communication in clear or secured modes.
Roger, 703. Stand by for swap. Be advised, pointer 23 is sour.
In the data link mode, tactical intelligence such as buoy status, positions, contact locations, and time can be rapidly transmitted directly to the carrier as well as to the relieving aircraft.
There's an expendable fly 2 point coming up to replace buoy number 23.
Once the data has been programmed into the newly arrived S3's computer, the tactical coordinator, or TACO, can quickly assimilate and evaluate all the tactical information generated earlier by the now departing Viking. A fly 2 point to the sour buoy has been entered. By selecting autopilot, the pilot can utilize computer-generated inputs to guide the S3 to the designated drop point. The appropriate sonobuoy is automatically released. Its computed splash point is entered into the computer, and its number and type are displayed on the tactical plot. These automated functions allow the crew members more time to assess the tactical situation and develop their own strategy. As Scout 704 returns to the carrier, 703, utilizing the information transferred to them, now takes its turn at tightening the net.
Maypole 25 is up and sweet.
The sensor operator can select any of several modes for processing and displaying his acoustic data. Computer analysis of the signal's characteristics further aid him in identifying the nature of the source. Functioning as a team, the crew of Scout 703 now begins to generate the additional data needed to determine the sub's location. As the first cycle of flight operations returns, valuable intelligence concerning the exercise is assembled. Throughout Scout 704's time on station, acoustic as well as tactical data has been recorded. Back on the carrier, these tapes are taken to the ASW module where acoustic data can be examined in greater detail. Comparisons with known signatures provide a double check of 704's contact on the Soviet submarine. Other areas of interest can also be thoroughly analyzed for any additional suspected contacts.
Combat, we've confirmed 704's contact.
Roger, SW, thank you. Flag, KO.
As the exercise threats increase, steps are taken to assure the Orange hostiles will not penetrate the carrier battle group's outer defenses undetected.
Admiral Flag TAO. Latest information on the subsurface contact indicates that the contact is outside of 300 miles. Alpha X-ray is recommending that we extend the search area out to that area.
In addition to the extended surveillance, Flag orders the strike group airborne. Intricate scenarios, all thoroughly briefed, are now put into action. Attack assets are the A7 Corsair and A6 Intruder. Guided by advanced electronics, they can accurately deliver their arsenal of sophisticated weapons against surface targets at sea or hardened battlements ashore. Fighter assets, embodied in the F-14 Tomcat, put up an air defense umbrella which protects both the battle group and strike force from aerial attack. The E-2 Hawkeye's radar allows simultaneous scanning of the surface and air arena for several hundred miles in all directions, assuring no surface or air threat can reach the battle group undetected.
Scout 705, extend your prison sector out to 300 miles.
Roger.
The S-3 Viking's performance and versatile weapon systems make it an extremely valuable asset to the battle group. Its dash speed of over 400 knots and long endurance on station allow the S-3 to quickly search wide expanses of ocean. With its ESM system, the Viking can detect and classify electronic emissions well beyond the radar horizon.
We've got an ESM contact, bearing 122. Barry, Scout 02. We have an unidentified contact. My track, 1077.
Bear Ace is the prime airborne command and control center for the carrier battle group. Here in the E2 is where the scenarios which protect the carrier and guide the strike forces are coordinated.
Scout 705, Bear Ace 02. We have confirmation on your contact, sending fix via dolly. Request FLIR ID. Probable surface contact.
FLIR, the S-3 Viking's forward-looking infrared sensor, can provide day or night visual observation of surface targets. Using radar to pinpoint the location of the contact, the co-pilot then hands it off to FLIR, which automatically tracks the contact. But a new ESM cut is now received by Scout 705.
It looks like we got something, bearing 037. It looks like our hostile. This doesn't conform to any of our other radar contacts.
When identification is confirmed and position refined, the E2 directs the strike force in.
Hawk, this is Bear Ace 02. Proceed with strike. Contact bears 090 for 40.
As the strike force begins its simulated attack, Scout 705, who has returned to the interzone, now detects something potentially more threatening than the surface hostiles. Viking's radar is so sensitive, it can spot targets smaller than a submarine's periscope.
I've just lost the radar contact. Looks like a possible radar sinker.
The brief contact is passed on to the E2, who will alert the carrier battle group.
W reported Scout reported a sinker, radar sinker. That correlates to the last sonar from the destroyer there. That's enough to act on. I'll call it Captain.
A fast response is critical.
Captain TAR.
All available assets are now teamed to orchestrate the attack. An SH-3 Sea King is vectored in to rendezvous with the Viking at the ASW datum.
Scout 705, Bear Ace 02, switch Alpha Sierra for prosecution of possible sinker. Scout 701 will take over your sector.
705 will need refueling. The E2 will guide the S-3 to the nearest tanker.
Roger that. Switch tanker control and contact ray gun 522.
This is Alpha X-ray, roger out. Combat ASW, we have a datum on the exercise sub. Bravo Delta is in the area. We have an S-3 and an H-3 inbound. In addition, 703 has a positive ID on the Soviet submarine and should have a course and speed shortly.
Course and speed, the final two variables needed to plot a track. The net has tightened. Now the submarine must pass through a barrier of sonobuoys, which has been laid across its path. With computer swiftness, all the critical questions are answered.
At this time, contact is closing on 6. And we had a CPA on 22 about 3 minutes ago.
Contact holding course 030.
Scout 703 will now drop down to sea level to resolve the final link in the problem, determining the actual position of the Soviet nuke.
Stand by, MAD. If we get a bad MAD this time, I'm going to bend it around for a quick return.
MAD, for Magnetic Anomaly Detector, senses any deviation in the Earth's magnetic field.
Madman, madman.
Quickly, the S-3 turns to come around for a second pass.
This time I'd like to lay a barrier down his track for a good CPA.
A new barrier will be laid to record a clear, audible signature of the Soviet submarine. valuable data for future ASW exercises. The rules of engagement deny the crew of Scout 703 the pleasure of advertising their skills to the intruder. But should the occasion arise, the Viking is capable of deploying bombs, rockets, mines, and homing torpedoes. With its versatile array of advanced sensors and weapon systems, the S-3 Viking provides the battle group commander a flexible, multi-mission platform which can simultaneously perform surface and electronic surveillance while conducting its ASW mission. When necessity dictates, the S-3 can extend its 6-hour on-station capability by refueling from the nearest tanker. Only crew endurance determines how long the S-3 can remain on station. With the completion of refueling, Scout 705 will now join Jaguar 06 and the surface unit in the search for the orange hostile sub. Although the S-3 is capable of prosecuting submarine contact single-handedly, surface and helicopter assets can be used in a coordinated operation to more rapidly developed attack criteria. Using its radar, the ship's ASW coordinator guides the Viking out to its last point of sonar contact, referencing the S-3 to its own tactical plot. An active buoy is deployed by the tackle. By going active, bearing and range information can be quickly established.
I'm now showing up Doppler 1,500 yards on 29 and down Doppler 1,000 yards on Hangar 16. Appears it's going to face it.
The buoy's ping has also alerted the orange hostile, who will now try to use his speed and evasive maneuvers to escape. But with the timely arrival of the SH-3, the orange hostile's options are greatly reduced. Utilizing his dipping sonar, Jaguar 06 quickly gets its own bearing and range, data which is relayed to Scout 705. Rapidly, a tactical plot is developed. Moving to another dip point, Jaguar adds another leg to Scout 705's efforts to triangulate a fix on the orange hostile.
We're coming down for some mad sweeps. Mark dip on my smoke.
Time is now critical. For once alerted, the high speeds and maneuvering capabilities of present-day submarines make it imperative that the attack be promptly executed.
Madman, madman!
The smoke marker is deployed. Though the sub can again change course, a vessel longer than a football field is hardly nimble enough to beat the S-3's return. Jaguar 06 will advise Scout 705 if their prey is again changing course or speed. In the exercise situation, the Viking will deploy a sound underwater signal to simulate a real weapon drop. The tonals alert the sub's commander that he has been attacked. By the exercise rules, the orange hostile must remove himself from the battle problem and wait an appropriate period of time before re-entering as a newly arrived threat. Scout 701, on the extended surveillance mission, has begun to receive intermittent radar transmissions which do not correlate with the orange force profile.
Take a look at this. I think we got some Soviet radar here.
Using the computer-stored databanks, Scout 701 has tentatively ID'd the approaching intruder. Information which is now passed on to the E-2 Hawkeye.
Roger 701. I hold your contact 3429. Fast Eagle 04, we have your ESM cut on inbound bogey. Initial vector proceed at 290.
At intercept speeds faster than the speed of sound, the approaching Soviet will be met miles outside the battle group's operational area. and then closely escorted for the duration of the visits. There can be no doubt in the Soviet crew's mind they would never have found the carrier, let alone fly past it, if their visit had been other than peaceful. The carrier battle group's defense in depth is designed to absorb saturation tactics. But naval warfare is an ever-changing world. Success hinges on our Navy's ability to expand and improve its capabilities to meet the growing threat. Forward-looking infrared sensors have added a new dimension to the attack community. Updates in computer and radar technology give added strength to the E-2 platform. But the greatest threat to the carrier battle group must still be met by this airplane, the S-3 Viking. To meet the threat of the new generation submarines, improvements planned for the Viking include a more powerful and precise acoustic processor, profile radar, and an enhanced ESM system will give the S-3 standoff targeting capability when armed with the anti-ship missile Harpoon. A warrior for all seasons, the S-3 Viking plays a vital role in the present and future needs of the carrier battle group.
Good afternoon. This is the captain. If anyone is in doubt, today has been a busy day. While we were looking for our exercise hostile, we had an S-3 working a real-world submarine and pinning him down. We found the simulated hostile submarine and a surface force in good time and mounted a successful strike against them. We located and successfully attacked the exercise submarine, all comfortable distances from the carrier battle group. We detected and intercepted a Soviet bear, gave him a fitting escort out of the area. We had no delays in the launch or recoveries, and only one mechanical abort. We had a completely professional effort from start to finish. To all hands, well done.
Flight operations are not over by any means. While cyclic operations have been completed for the day, S-3s will conduct operations throughout the night, providing an umbrella for the battle group against subsurface, surface, and air intruders. As the Viking looks and listens, the carrier's other assets remain at the ready to respond when called upon. Finally, the battle group pauses in its demanding pace. A moment to rest before commencing its next phase of operations. For success can only be guaranteed by the vigilance and professional teamwork of these dedicated men. They are a breed apart, serving their country where the comfort of home and family are as foreign as the sight of land. Their sacrifice assures the United States Navy's carrier battle group will be our nation's most potent and flexible peacekeeping force, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, months on end.